What's going on, my sauce mates? How are you doing today? Today is going to be a very fun video. This one brings me back to my roots a little bit. It's a Jewish style brisket. It's Passover season and it got me thinking, you know what? Why not make something that I used to have as a kid, right? And so brisket, Jewish brisket, is typically stewed in like a tomato or chili sauce. It's sweet. It's got like brown sugar, usually some red wine, stuff like that, apple cider vinegar in there. It's different, but it like falls apart. It just like is super flaky and mixes totally well with the sauce. And so I'm going to do this recipe. It's courtesy of my friend Spencer, also known as Spence Daddy or Spence Diesel. So I'm just gonna take this nice piece of brisket and stew it on up and have a nice Jewish brisket for Passover season. All right, let's go, sauce mates. All right, now you can see here is a nice piece of brisket. It's just the flat, it's about half of a flat. It is a prime grade brisket. And so I'm just gonna try to replicate with a few of my own touches, a few modifications, if you would say, to my friend Spencer's Jewish brisket dish, a classic Passover tradition. All I need to do really to start is just sprinkle it with a bit of pepper, because it's already been salted for overnight. Yesterday I went and covered it with some big kosher salt and let it soak and marinate and brine, dry brine in that in a bag. And so it should be nice and flavorful on the inside from that pre-brined salt. So just a little bit of black pepper, and I'm gonna spread some crushed garlic on it too. That's it. That's all we need. All right, we got some vegetable oil nice and hot in the pan. I'm just gonna take our brisket and set it on in there. Get a nice little sear. A few minutes on each side until we get that nice crispy brown. All right, guys, so our brisket is nice and well seared, as you can see. Look at that. Look at the color on that guy. It's nice and done. So I'm just gonna set it aside for now, and we're gonna use the same pot to make our sauce. All right, so what's left in that pot is known as fondant, which is all the flavor from those spices, the garlic and pepper that's in the pot. It looks like it's burned, but what that is flavor. So I'm just gonna add all my aromatics, my onions, my chopped carrots and celery to this same pot, and we're just gonna saute them down in that fondant, all that flavor. All right, now you can see that our mixed veggies have kind of softened up a little bit and get that nice brown color. And you know, most of that fondant is actually off the pan, but we're gonna do one step that's gonna remove all of it. And that is to deglaze the pan with a little bit of red wine. Watch this. So the red wine actually, for some reason, acts as an agent to release all that stickiness from the bottom of the pan. So you want to just let that stuff cook, evaporate out all that alcohol while stirring constantly to get all that fondant off the bottom of the pan. All right, there it goes. You can hear that alcohol starting to cook off. Nice and bubbly. Smells fantastic. I'm gonna drop back in the remainder of that garlic paste that I just chopped up and stir that in there while it's deglazing. It's a nice stew. We got a stew, boys. We got a stew. Now you'll know when the alcohol has evaporated enough for you to do the next step, when it stops steaming as much as it has right now. All right, there you go. You can tell now the alcohol is pretty much cooked off. It's not steaming like crazy like it was. It's more visible and manageable. So that's when we're gonna add the next ingredients. We'll start with some apple cider vinegar and some crushed tomatoes, fire roasted crushed tomatoes. Hell yeah. Some brown sugar. And then this is my addition. Since Spencer's recipe calls for a chili sauce instead of a tomato sauce, I'm gonna add some chili powder. Why not? Should mix well with the brown sugar and the sweetness from the tomatoes and have a nice little sweet and sour and hot effect. I'm also gonna add a little bit of smoked paprika. For the extra kick at the end, just a little dash of cayenne pepper. So I'm gonna stir that up. I'm gonna let that stew for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so until I think it's, you know, totally mixed in and all the flavors blended together. And then all that's left to do is just pour this into a pan with my brisket and cook it in the oven for about 3 hours. So I'll be back to it in a jiff. Can't forget to add a couple bay leaves though. I'm not really sure what the freak a bay leaf does for flavor, but all these recipes, you know, usually require a bay leaf or two. You know, it might be bullshit. It's some guy just, you know, debating me to put freaking leaves in my food, but I mean, you know what? Why not? We'll see what happens. Right, so we're just gonna take this finished sauce right here, pour it over the brisket into a pan, and cook it on 350 degrees for about 3 hours. All right. All right, so it's been about 3 hours. Time to take the brisket out of the oven. All right. Check that out. That looks awesome, don't it? All right, so next thing to do is just let this cool off for a second, and we're gonna put it in the fridge overnight and let it soak up all those juices, and then tomorrow we'll eat. What's up, my sauce mates? So here is our brisket after 24 hours overnight in the fridge. You know, sitting in that delicious sauce, getting all that flavor. So what I'm gonna do now is just going to slice this back up so I could submerge the sliced brisket back into the sauce, and then we're gonna cook it up for about 30 minutes just so it's nice and warm and ready to eat. All right, so now that our brisket is nice and sliced up, as you can see here, check out that piece. Looks awesome. We're gonna put that back in our sauce and just heat it up for 30 minutes and it'll be ready to eat. All right, so our oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Time to go ahead and put our brisket in for about 30 minutes. All right, so for a nice traditional side I want to serve my brisket with, I'm gonna make some rice pilaf. So I'm not doing anything too crazy, it's just straight from the box, but this is a classic side that we used to have when I grew up as a kid. Rice pilaf with our Jewish style beef brisket for Passover. So just going to let some water come to a boil, pour that in with some butter, and I'm actually gonna add little beef bouillon cube for some extra flavor. And that's it. All right, our rice pilaf is done. It looks nice and creamy, delicious. Nice and creamy, delicious rice pilaf. So that's gonna go on the dish with my brisket. I'm excited to try this. Brings me back to old days. All right, guys. So it's been 30 minutes. It's time to take that holiday Jewish brisket out the oven. We'll go ahead and do that right now. Ooh, oh yes. Check that out. Ooh, bubbly, saucy. Smells awesome. Sweet and sour brisket for Passover. So I'm just gonna serve this up with that rice pilaf, and we're gonna enjoy a delicious meal together, sauce mates. All right, guys, I'm really excited for this. I'm just gonna plate this. This dish really brings me back to my childhood, so I'm really excited to do that. So I'm gonna put some of that rice pilaf on our plate here. And then we're just gonna smother it with a couple strips of that brisket. Look at that. Ooh, just falling apart. Wow. Look at that. Ooh, a good guy. Delicious. Get some of our sauce, cover it all up the top. Give me that bay leaf. Get out of here, you little leaf. And that's it. Little color to it, you know. Some fresh parsley. And we are done. There you go. Delicious holiday Passover beef brisket for you sauce mates. Now it's just time to do a little taste test and see if it stands up to test of time and if it's everything I remember it being. All right, so let me get to that. All right, what's up everybody? I'm back. Our holiday Passover brisket is done. So this is a dish that I used to have a lot when I was a kid. This is my friend Spencer, like I said, his take on it. And let's see if Spencer steered us right. So it's time to give it a try. I'm pumped for this one. This is nostalgia on a plate for me. All right, so let's give it a shot. Spencer, you did a good job. That is good shit, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, this brings me right back to my grandma's house when I was a kid. You know, I always used to make this brisket. It's a lot like this. Good memories. Good memories. But yeah, this is delicious. It's super tender. Like, it basically falls apart just by like twisting, you know, the fork like that. It doesn't even need a knife. It's sweet. It's salty. It's tomatoey. It's everything good you could want. And it's just awesome. And you get a little bit of that rice pilaf in there with it. It's good stuff. Great dish. You don't have to make this. You don't have to be Jewish to like this. You can make this at any point in time. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. So yeah, that's the end of this video, my sauce mates. Please, hold on. Let me finish chewing. All right, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. This one's special to me, so I hope you guys try this at home. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys again soon. All right, peace out.